locate, locate, locate. So, let's talk about the word locate. The part of speech for locate is both a verb and a noun, which can sometimes make it tricky to use correctly. As a verb, it means to find out where something is, such as can you locate the nearest train station? Or I tried to locate my phone but couldn't find it. On the other hand, when used as a noun, location refers to the actual place itself. Like, what's the location of the meeting? Or, the hotel is in a great location, close to the beach. It's worth noting that when using locate as a verb, it often implies a sense of searching or finding something, whereas location as a noun is more about specifying where something is. Also, be careful not to confuse locate with iLocation, which doesn't exist. And don't use it in the same way you would use identify because they have slightly different meanings. In a job interview for a position at a university library, the interviewer asked the candidate to explain how she would assist students in locating resources for their research projects. The candidate responded by saying, I'd be happy to help students find relevant articles and books on our databases, either by searching myself or by instructing them on how to use our online catalog system so they can locate materials independently. Later that evening, the candidate was chatting with her colleagues at a coffee shop and mentioned that she was having trouble finding a good Italian restaurant in town. Her colleague replied, Don't worry. I know just where to locate one. It's this tiny place near the piazza that serves amazing pasta dishes. In this context, the word locate is being used informally to mean find or discover, implying that there might be some difficulty in pinpointing the exact location. The next day, during a meeting with investors to pitch their new app idea, the team's marketing director emphasized how the app would utilize GPS technology to help users locate nearby businesses and services. He explained that this feature would not only increase user engagement but also drive sales for local merchants, making it a valuable tool for both consumers and small business owners. In this context, the word locate is being used in a formal, professional setting to convey precision and accuracy. So, you're trying to figure out what locate means. Don't worry, I'm here to help. Essentially, when we say that something is located somewhere, we mean that it's been found and identified in a particular place. Think of it like this. If you're on a treasure hunt and you find the chest buried in the sand, then you know where it is, you've located it. The main characteristics of locating something are knowing its position or address, being able to pinpoint exactly where it is, and being able to go there easily. This concept is similar to saying that you need to find or discover something, but with a more specific focus on its physical whereabouts. It's like using a map or a GPS to get somewhere. So, when we use the word locate, we're usually trying to convey this sense of finding and identifying a place or an object in relation to our surroundings. Maximize, maximize, maximize. So, let's talk about the word maximize. As a verb, it means to make something as large or effective as possible, especially by using resources efficiently. In common usage, you might see this word used in business contexts, like when a company is trying to maximize profits or cut costs. For example, the manager worked hard to maximize the return on investment. It's also often used in academic and technical writing, where people are trying to convey complex ideas or data in a clear and concise way. One special note about this word is that it has a slightly different meaning than its American English counterpart, maximize, which can sometimes imply simply increasing something without worrying too much about the most efficient way of doing it. In a formal setting such as a job interview, someone might say, as I have been researching and analyzing our company's marketing strategies, I believe we can maximize our online presence by allocating more resources to social media platforms. This usage is formal because it's in an official context where precision and professionalism are expected. In a casual conversation with friends, you could be discussing travel plans and say, let's maximize our time in Tokyo by visiting the city's top attractions during the day and exploring the local nightlife at night. The tone here is relaxed as it's between friends sharing personal experiences. For example, in an academic or business report, a sentence might read, the study found that maximizing fuel efficiency through engine optimization can lead to significant cost savings for companies operating large fleets of vehicles. This usage is more formal because it's written in a professional tone and intended for an audience seeking technical information. So, you want to know about this important concept? Well, when we talk about getting the most out of something, like money, time, or even effort, we're essentially trying to achieve the best possible result. It's like squeezing every last bit of juice from an orange. You want to get as much value as you can from what you have. The main idea is to do more with less, or to make the most impact with the resources you've got. Similar ideas are optimize and fulfill potential, which all mean finding ways to reach your goals without wasting anything important. In everyday life, people use this thinking to make smart decisions, like planning a trip to get the best deals or choosing a project that will bring the most benefits. It's all about being clever with what you have. Minor. 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 So, let's break down the word minor. As an adjective, it can be used to describe something that is of smaller size or importance. For example, she played the minor role in the movie means her character wasn't main or central to the plot. In common usage, you'll often hear minor when talking about things like minor issues, minor injuries, or even a minor key in music. It's also used to describe someone who is under 18 years old, for instance. As a minor, he can't sign contracts without a guardian's approval. A special note about using minor is that it can be easily confused with major. So make sure you're clear on the context and meaning when deciding which word to use. Here are 3 practical example sentences using the word minor in different contexts. In a formal context, such as a university lecture, you might say, the minor amendments proposed by Professor Johnson were deemed insufficient to warrant a reconsideration of the entire policy. This sentence uses minor to describe something that is relatively insignificant or unimportant. Context explanation. A professor is discussing proposed changes to an existing policy and decides that they are not substantial enough to warrant revisiting the entire policy. In a casual conversation, you might say, I had a minor fender bender on my way to work this morning, just a scratch on the bumper. This sentence uses minor to describe something that is relatively insignificant or unimportant. Context explanation. You're chatting with a colleague about your daily commute and mention a small car accident that happened earlier. In a business or academic context, such as a report or research paper, you might say, the company's minor investments in social media advertising yielded significant returns, highlighting the potential for future expansion. This sentence uses minor to describe something that is relatively insignificant or unimportant. Context explanation. A researcher is analyzing data on the effectiveness of different marketing strategies and discovers that a small investment in social media advertising had a positive impact on company sales. So, you want to know about something that is smaller in size or importance compared to others? Well, let me explain. A small-sized thing or situation can be considered minor. It's like a tiny drop of water in an ocean. In everyday life, when someone says their problem is minor, they mean it's not too serious or big of a deal. Main characteristics of a minor issue are that it doesn't cause much trouble or stress. And usually, you can easily fix it without needing to worry about the bigger picture. If someone asks if your hurt is major or just a minor scrape, they're asking how serious it is. Similar concepts like small or tiny convey the same idea. And sometimes people use words like unimportant or insignificant to describe something that's minor. As for what it does, being minor means you don't need to panic or get too worked up about it, just take care of it casually and move on.